Vlogmas. Okay, so today I wanted to talk about how to deal when you're not able to do basically a straight line to your goal. Um, and that there are setbacks, and that's okay. That always happens. That always happens, that there will be setbacks. Um, so, first of all, not that I want to be an enabler, but don't beat yourself up over it if you don't go straight from A to B to Z. Know that that's like really, really common, that you're not going to go from A to B to Z. So what I suggest you do if you find that you're getting off track is think about your goal, and break it down a little bit. First of all, make sure, is this a real goal that you actually still want? Did you actually ever want it? Is this an appropriate goal? 2, think about how you've broken the goal down into steps. And are the steps sort of too big? Are they too vague? Do you need to break it down into more steps? Maybe you don't need to go A, B, Z, but you need to go A1, A2, A3, B, C, that sort of thing. Maybe you need to break it down a little bit more. Maybe you need to do a little bit more research. Maybe you need to think about it more. And so the point to me of doing that is, now, if I have a goal and I don't reach it, I tend to basically beat myself up. And I am driven by goals. I mean, I've done NaNoWriMo twice. That means I've written an entire novel in 30 days. This is NaNoWriMo month right now that I'm making this video in November. I'm not writing a book right now. And there's a part of me that's really like, oh, it's November, you should write a book. But that's because I'm doing videos and planning a trip out of the country. But I've done that. I've done that. That's a really humongous goal. And let me tell you, if you write 10,000 words in one day, it'll give you a big, giant headache. Huge headache. So I don't recommend doing that. But I've done it more than once. I did my half marathon. I, in 6 weeks, conceived of and left and went to Morocco in Africa. I had to get vaccines. I had to learn really basic Arabic to get around. I had to research the country. I did all this in 6 weeks. I did this. I can do goals, okay? So this is difficult for people to do. People are like, I've never done anything. This is a complete lie. You woke up and you're breathing. That is something, okay? Maybe it's not a big giant thing. I mean, I'm doing big giant things. I know, especially for people with avoidant personality disorder. I do big giant things. I know where. But little things like I got my laundry done this week. Little things like I think at this point maybe 95% moved into this place, which I have moved into apartments and still have boxes that are not dealt with 8 years after I moved into them. When I had my kid, because I had a million other things to do. So, I mean, there's goals and then there's little goals. So the little goals lead to big goals. I'm getting off track here. So, but that is one of the ways to cope, is to go, okay, I didn't do this, but in the past I've done this. and to sort of keep a running list of things you've actually done. Now, there's going to be part of you that wants to then criticize it and say, well, I didn't do it right, and I didn't do this, and I didn't do that, and I didn't do. This is not a detailed list. This is literally like 3 words. I did this, period. And it's just to remind you that in the past, forget about perfection. You completed a goal. So right now you didn't do this goal, but you've done it in the past. You can do it again. This goal needs tweaking. So thinking about, stuff that you've done in the past is a great way to cope with. It's time for me to stop talking. It's a great way for you to cope with the fact that this particular goal, you didn't get there the way you thought you were going to. It's to remind you that, this is huge with my kid. He is basically incapable of coming up with a plan B. He's, it's very black and white thinking. But there's always a plan B. There's always a plan B. So remind yourself of that. Remind yourself you've completed goals in the past. Remind yourself that there is a different way to get to this goal. Then think about, make sure that you actually want to, the third step of that is then to process your, what happened. And because that is a way of looking forward, is to think, what I started this video with, is this goal appropriate for me now? And break down the steps a little bit more if it is. And that's basically my 3 ways of coping with not meeting, because it's really hard for me to say I'm going to do something and then not do it. That's really, really, really hard for me to do. I feel like I have no right not to do something that I said I was going to do. But even if I haven't told everybody, hey, I'm going to do this, even if it's a personal goal, I still feel really bad if it doesn't work out the way I think it's going to. So that's how I cope. One is reminding myself, in the past, I have been able to meet goals. And that, I said number 2, and now I don't even remember it. See, I'm really bad at doing this. Number 2 is that there's always a plan B. See, I'm a plan B. So there's always another way of doing what you need to do. The road washes out. Okay, take another road. It might take you longer. Whatever. And then to think about and break down your plan to see if a different plan can help you out. Oh, this video is long too. Okay, so I'll stop. Anyway, thank you.